This meeting is being recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we back again for another week. Sports Talk with the Crooks. We have the Hall of Famer, the living legend. We have the A to the C. I'm just saying, Daniel High's finest, Anthony Crooks in the building.
What's up with your nephew?
What's happening? And then on the other end, we got the pastor of disaster. We got the guy who's the king of law enforcement, and he got my nephew Kelton on the shoulder. Show Kelton. God, don't Kelton out. He must have been watching gym highlight tape. But anyway, he out now. He tired. He knocked out. I'm just saying. But that's what's up. We got Rashad Crooks in the building and my nephew Kelton who's out. But anyway, look, how's everybody doing today?
Oh,
Yeah, how
good.
about you?
I'm good. So, normally I shoot y'all stuff that we're gonna talk about. But one of the things that I want to talk about that I didn't shoot to you, is I wanted to check on my aunt because Days of Our Lives is not on anymore, and I was just checking to see how he was feeling with Days of Our Lives now moving to the Peacock Network instead of being on regular TV. How are you handling stuff over on your end?
Not well at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm still kind of. Me and NBC gonna have to have a talk. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it right there.
So how is Derek Galloway dealing with it not being on regular television?
that joker down there, he the one keep me informed now. I got two guys keep me informed. Your Uncle Dave keep me informed on Clemson football, and Derek Galloway keep me up on the Peacock channel.
Okay, so you got some informants.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you. So let me ask you this. So let's open up with Georgia and South Carolina. Georgia crushed them. Is Georgia the number one team in the country, or are they still number two?
I would say, first of all, let's talk about the South Carolina-Georgia game. It was
okay,
no
let's
game.
talk about it.
There was no game. Georgia showed up and South Carolina was in North Carolina or somewhere, but they wasn't. They wasn't in Columbia.
They didn't show up, so they sent some people. So what you're saying is they had the Bishop Sycamore team essentially hop in and put on the garnet in black. That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm just saying is they wasn't in Columbia, and for them Gamecock fans to leave in the third quarter, that's not.
They didn't do that.
Support. That's not great support.
Wait a minute. Their fans left early?
Rashad, tell him, Rashad.
Oh, look now.
That is not true.
It get hot in
that
Columbia.
cannot be true because I've heard people say that with South Carolina Gamecocks, we don't leave. We support our team, win, lose, or tie, and they left.
Well, King, you gotta keep in mind it gets very hot in Columbia, and when you down 48-0 in the third quarter, I mean, ain't no point in passing out.
Okay, so you saying it was from a health standpoint?
Yeah.
So essentially, the humidity made the fans leave because they didn't want all of the vitamins and the minerals washed up out of them. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Oh, okay, cool. I can understand that. Now, second question: is Florida State back to being Florida State? They're undefeated now.
You talking about now? Clarify, but which Florida State you talking about? Florida State from 5 years ago, or the Florida State from when you played in the 90s?
From when I played in the 90s.
No, they nowhere close.
They ain't nowhere close. So what you saying is the scheduling that's making them look good, but when they play against the real team.
Yeah, well, they're making progress. They showed improvements. It was big to beat LSU.
Right.
It was big to beat Louisville. They're making progress. They 3-0 first time in years. So I still don't. They made improvements, but they're not where they used to be. Nowhere close.
Okay. Now let's start talking about them Clemson Tigers. Crushed. Louisiana Tech, it was close in the first half. Then they pulled away. in the second half. What were some of your big takeaways from the game? What stood out?
DJ was throwing that dime like Sean Young used to throw it by.
You over there telling lies again. You over there telling lies again. Because Sean Young can throw it. Look, because nobody threw the ball like Sean Young, especially when he had that little strike ball running the naked bootleg. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. When you put the stripe up, for those who don't know, Sean Young is probably one of the greatest high school quarterbacks ever. And DJ threw for 200 and some odd yards. Now, Sean likes DJ. He ain't all the way fully supportive. Sean is kind of like in the middle. So how would you assess DJ?
DJ was on point. I mean, he was putting the ball where the receivers should catch the ball. He had still a few more drop balls, but he made some big plays down the field. Where they stretched the field, and that takes a lot of pressure off the offensive line when they complete those passes. And so, the first half they looked sharp, but then you was on offense. Rashad played offense. You have your spatters, ups and downs, but then when you get that rhythm, it ain't no stopping them. They're gonna be okay. I think they're gonna be okay. They just gotta stop playing politic football, should I say.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, once again, I tell you, your best guys are not carrying the ball.
Okay. If you were the offensive coordinator or if you were the running back coach, who would be number one, number two, number three?
Martha,
okay,
Pace, and Shipley.
So you got your starting tailback as the third tailback.
Once again, that's their starting tailback. My starting tailback.
You ain't feeling this year. How about you, Rashad?
No, I really like Phil Murphy.
What were your big takeaways from the game?
There were some very good things. It's like it was inconsistency. They started out strong. They didn't play good in the second quarter. Started out better than third. Fourth quarter defense gave up some points. They probably shouldn't have. But they just have to be more consistent. A lot of them were saying there's a lot of players were out. There was, Brian Brissy didn't play, some others didn't play. But their real test is going to be this coming week. Okay.
Now, when I played at Clemson, we had a grading system. And so that Monday, we all knew what our grades were based upon the previous performance on Saturday. So I'm going to pose the same questions to y'all, and I'm going to have y'all grade each position, A to F. So let's start with the quarterback position. What grade would you give the quarterback position?
Oh, you know me. I'm giving DJ an A.
This guy was here giving away free grades.
Hey, but you got to look at when you win. Everybody got to have to grade in the 90% because you won. I mean, it's not the way you win; it's the W that goes along with it. I mean, did he throw any interceptions?
So wait a minute. So your grading system is based upon the wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you call a curve.
It's all about the W.
Okay. Rashad, what would you give it?
I would say this. I feel like Clemson has not completely opened up the playbook. Obviously, you don't want to show everything you got. Your best plays for Louisiana Tech. So some of it was conservative play calling, but that was for a reason. So I'd say a B.
Okay. Well, let me ask y'all about the running back position. What would you give the running back position? Because your boy Shipley had over 100 yards now.
Yeah, I feel like Clemson need to commit more to the run. I say a B.
Okay. How about you, Unc?
Well, I go with a B minus. I mean, yeah, Shipley had over 100 yards, but he touching the ball all the time. I mean, Martha and Pace, those guys are not getting opportunities to show their skills when, Shipley's getting 20, 21 carries, and then they're getting 7 and 8, you know, a 4 in a half. That's, to me, you know, they're talented backs. They're just not having opportunity to present themselves. And sometimes, you know, like we say, transfer portal is real.
Golly, it's real. So you saying that we might have some contestants who hit that transfer portal at the end of the year?
Well, Collins just left. The wide receiver from Atlanta, he just left, and I thought he was going to be a decent receiver. But I guess, you know, when you got to share time, once again, we had that conversation last week. If I'm better than you, I'm not definitely going to sit there and watch you.
And watch you from the sideline. Now speaking of the receivers, what would you give the receivers? What grade would you give them?
I give them a B. I mean, you know, they made some good plays. But then they dropped some passes as well. So I you know, consistent, but there was consistency there.
Okay. How about you, Rashad?
I'll say a C. Still not getting enough separation.
Okay.
They need to improve on is getting separation, and you really didn't see that. Some of the catches they were made was in tight coverage, and that's something they need to improve on. So I say C.
Okay. How about the defensive line?
Oh, your defense.
I said B.
Okay. How about you,
I give the offensive line an A. I mean, defensive line an A because I mean they're putting pressure on the ball. It's just sometimes it makes it make them look bad because you're not running on them. But the pattern, you know, when they're rushing and your corners are sometimes out of position because they're young, and your linebacker sometimes is just out of position. But from the defensive line standpoint, they're going to be good. That's what's going to win more ball games when you run into your NC State, Wake Forest, and those group in Miami down the road, because they're strong at that position. And then that's going to take away a lot of them running game.
Okay, well, let's talk about them DBs now. Here's the thing. La Tech threw for over 300 yards. What would you give the DBs?
I have to give them a B. I mean, because they're young and they're learning. But at the same time, they still didn't give up many touchdowns. They give up field goals. They stopped the drive when they had to stop the drive. So, you know, I give them that.
Okay. How about you, Rashad?
I said D. Defensive backs didn't perform well. They gave up big plays. Yeah, big D. So I said D.
So you gave them a what?
A D.
You gave them a D.
Yeah.
You said they played below average.
Yeah, they shouldn't have let.
I ain't mad at you.
Y'all guys are hard.
We hard on people like
Yeah, you supposed to let Law Tech be that productive.
Yeah, because they ain't known that powerhouse. Now, let me ask you about this week's game. Now, can the Demon Deacons pull the upset at home?
Why can you answer that question, Kenny?
I'm just saying.
Why?
I'm being unbiased. I'm asking a philosophical question. Can they win at home at BB&T? Probably the most boringest state. Well, no, let me take it back. Duke has, for the record, Duke has the most boringest stadium of all time. Close second, Wake Forest. But with that being said, you don't have a lot of atmosphere there. Really, back in the day, it was a stats game because they were not that good. So could it be that we might be looking down the road the following week to NC State, who's ranked number 12? And maybe that's the reason why they might get a W? Or are we that focused that we can just go up there and take care of business and get rid of NC State?
Well, I think basically Clemson will be ready for that game because I don't think they're experienced enough to put anybody in the league waiting for the next game. Every game they got to be prepared to play. And Dabo, that's his job. He has to get them ready to play. I mean, Wait was a top 15 team last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
Same quarterback and everything.
So they know they got to go up there and get ready to play.
Okay, so that would be a no for you. There's no chance of an upset.
Right.
Okay. How about you, Rashad? Is there a chance for an upset?
I just can't pick Wake Forest beating Clemson. I don't see no upset. I think this would be the best offense we face as far as regular season.
Okay.
But they don't have a good defense.
The NC State? Would you say better than NC State? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this. The line is 7.5. The line is 7.5. Your prediction on the game. Do we beat them by more than 7.5 points? What's your final prediction of that game? What's the score?
I'm going to say 42-21.
Okay. 42-21. So they cover the spread.
Who, Wake or Clemson? Yeah, Clemson covered the spread. Yeah, they're going to beat them by more than 7 points.
So you're going to call Rodney Henderson and let him know it's safe.
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah. I got to call and talk to him too. Your Uncle Dave Reed and Rodney Henderson. Those are my guys.
Okay, so you can you can just say, hey, we're going to Vegas. So we putting money on that 7.5, and you feel good about it. Hey man, Rashad, tell me your final score. What's your prediction?
38-27. I think Wake Forest will be productive on offense, but it's not going to be enough offense to beat Clemson.
Okay, what do you think will be the biggest difference maker?
Force punts, and I think who has a better defense? I think Clemson has a better defense.
But you definitely think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. Well, fellas, we're wrapping this Bad Mama Jam up. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. We got the living legend, Anthony Crooks. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Rashad Crooks. And we got the future Hall of Famer, Kelton Crooks, on the shoulder. Boom! Doing his thing. I mean, this guy is uninterrupted, ladies and gentlemen. He is truly a Crooks. That's what's happening. Thank y'all for hanging out with us.